So when I saw I need a 35, 38 offset, I was like, for some reason thinking in my head, because I didn't read, it's like, okay, so I can get less than that and it'll be perfectly fine. Like 35, 38 is probably like the max fitment for a really aggressive setup. No. 22 is sticking further out. So, more than likely, get a side profile of it. They're schmeedy.
That sticks out quite a bit, yeah.
Alright, so before you click away, the wheel fitment stuff, you can go ahead and skip to it. I'll put the timestamps up in front of you, or this might be broken down into chapters. I'm not quite sure I'm going to do this yet, but if you're just here for the wheel fitment stuff, you can go ahead and skip to that now. For those that actually want to stay and watch the whole thing, one, I'm going to apologize because I'm recovering from COVID. I sound like absolute crap right now. But also, welcome to the channel. We finally decided to kind of merge channels instead of having separate ones at this point. So this is now Broken Skull Garage. The footage here is from months ago, so it's a little outdated, and probably like 4 or 5 videos from now is when we're going to talk about this more. But this is a group channel now. Anyways, what you're looking at right now is we cut the vents out of the stock rear bumper. I would go ahead and just let the normal audio play over, but we had music in the background, and that's going to get us some copyright strikes. So I'm just going to explain what's going on. We also put on some R1 Concepts rotors up front and R1 Concepts track pads, and those have been doing absolutely fantastic so far. The other things that we've done is wheel fitment. Oh my god. So you can probably tell from the beginning of the video, but I did not get my wheel fitment knowledge correct before buying wheels. That's okay though, because we just rolled the fenders. They're still scrubbing like crazy, and it's still cutting into the wheels, but we're going to fix that later. It probably, like, again, 4 or 5, maybe 6 videos from now will probably be where this actually gets fixed on camera. But for right now, it's still scrubbing. We got to fix it before my next track date in October, which it's currently August. Let's see. Camera and mic quality. So the camera work is going to get a little bit better. We did get some action cams, so we're going to have some decent track footage to come. And regarding audio quality, it's just going to be kind of crappy for now until we can get something like a Rogue wireless mic or something like that. So please bear with us as we get started. But we have some pretty cool projects to come, and some cool stuff is going to be done to my car, Sincerity, here. So hope you stick around for the journey. Thanks for listening to my rambling, and I'll go ahead and cut to the normal audio.
You can get less than that and it'll be perfectly fine. Like 35, 38 is probably like the max fitment for a really aggressive setup. No. 22 is sticking further out. So, more than likely, get a side profile of it. They're schmeedy.
That sticks out quite a bit, yeah.
So this is 22. It's about a ½ inch. If I went with a 35 at the minimum, then it'd be just enough to tuck in, and whenever it compresses, it would pull up in and tuck in because of, the camber curve. This is gonna scrub. I already know it's gonna scrub the inner fender liner. That's whatever.
Right.
I didn't want to scrub
back
this
there somewhere
because I didn't want to have to cut anything. But what we're looking at now is just getting some aftermarket Type R style fenders for this that'll bolt up in the exact same spot. As long as it's not scrubbing here, it'll be fine. And we can get the Type R style flare, and it'll fit. The only concern is the side marker. Side marker. I don't know if my Civic's gonna yell at me, like the electronic sensors, if these are missing.
The BRZ is older, but it doesn't yell at me.
Yeah, but also I had
The only thing that yells at me on
an
that
ABS
is
sensor get dirty in the rain one time, and it pissed off everything. It threw warning lights everywhere. So that's just a concern, but we're gonna send it.
Shut up, bro.
And if it scrubs up here, whatever, it's plastic, so it's not gonna hurt the wheel. Is it plastic? It feels like really thin.
That's plastic. You got a magnet?
Yes, I do have a magnet.
And
Well, what if it's just like aluminum, which it's not magnetic, right? No,
aluminum is not magnetic.
It's metal.
Oh.
Wait, so we could roll it?
Yeah, we could. I have a Fender roller.
I don't have to spend money. I just gotta roll the fenders.
Full disclosure, cameraman here. Hey, when you tapped on it and how pliable it felt like plastic.
Yeah, it feels like plastic. But this reminds me, we have a 2021 truck at work, Ford F350.
Don't talk about Ford. Everything on them is aluminum.
Yeah, it's all aluminum. All the metal, even the truck bed, is really thin, and it's almost malleable by hand, and it feels the same as this.
Horror story.
Which is the only thing that threw me off, because when you're doing this, it feels like plastic, but I guess it's not. Okay. Well, you know what? We have the plan. If it scrubs just a wee bit, well, actually, you know what? We're gonna flare it even if it doesn't scrub. Okay.
He was about to trip over the jack.
First center cap going in. Let me make sure I line this up with that top lug. Oh.
This was supposed to be an epic moment. Beat it.
I didn't want that to happen. Dude, am I gonna have to take the mallet?
No, don't do that.
I think it's in. No, right here. Okay, it's in.
Thumb power.
Oh, you know what? That one actually popped right in.
Thumb power.
Huh. Okay. Well, I look a little bit less weak now. Yeah. That's it. The resonator for the stock intake we ripped out. It's sitting over there. I don't know. I'm tired. I'm hungry. I'm ready to get food. I'm ready to watch this scrub because I already know the route that I'm going to take. Also, this is already coming out. That's hilarious.
You shouldn't have pulled on it so hard.
I didn't even pull on that one so hard. It's been like that. Same thing over here. It doesn't even line up with the fender. So you know what? It needs to come out anyways. So if it does, then whatever. But I'll worry about the pretty stuff like the stickers when we get back.
Okay, if you've skipped to this part, it's because you just want to know about the wheel fitment. So the stock wheels are a 18 by 8 plus 50, and these aftermarket wheels are a 18 by 9.5 plus 22. FitmentIndustries.com recommends no more than an 18 by 9.5 plus 35. If you don't know about offset, the higher that offset number, the more the wheel is going to be tucked into your fender. In other words, the less that number is, the more it's going to be coming outside of your vehicle. I guess that's the best way to explain it. You can always look it up. There's guides everywhere, and Donut Media goes over how to roll fenders and offset and all that pretty well. So after the first round of fender rolling, we still had some scrubbing everywhere, and especially up front. After the second round of fender rolling, we still had an issue with the bracket for the side marker cutting grooves into the tire. So what we're going to have to do now is actually jack the car back up and then put a jack under the wheels, lift it up a little bit to see exactly where it's still getting cut. Again, we think it's the bracket, but we're not 100% sure. But if you want to play this safe, I wouldn't really go past the 18 by 9 for wheel fitment.
I'm not having to run my track tires, but she is coming along. Just for a size comparison, stock, the new ones. Yeah. Okay, side markers are done. Absolutely loose as hell, and I mean, I could probably put tape in here to fix that, keep it from wiggling so much. Just pat it a little bit. I don't really feel like doing that right now, but it sits a little bit more in line now. It's not going to be the greatest because I don't want to mess up my fender, but it's better. It might not scrub as much now because that just looks horrible, but that's okay. So stock wheels are going back on. The fenders. Big difference. It's got a proper lip now, which this is exactly how I want it to be all the way around. But this flexes way too much. And over here, it's actually pushing my bumper out a little bit. But it didn't do it over here, even though the roll over here was much more aggressive than the roll that I did over here.
Okay, so I apologize for this being a little bit out of order and the constant narration, but we didn't exactly have a plan going into the recording of any of these videos, and a lot of this is months old and has gotten way out of order. On top of that, I've got COVID brain and it's storming outside. I lost an hour worth of progress, and at this point, I just need to be done and go to sleep. So what you're looking at here is me absolutely failing at proper fender rolling. I watched plenty of videos on how to do this beforehand, completely ignored every single bit of it, or brain dumped it, one of the two. We should have used a heat gun, and I've mentioned that earlier. Doing that would have made the fenders more malleable and also would have prevented most of the paint loss that was experienced. So now I have paint loss on the lips of all the fenders, and it's rusted a little bit, which isn't a huge deal. I'll just go back behind it with a Dremel, sand it down, paint over it, because I just got a paint matching, or supposedly paint matched kit to go over it with. I will say, if you want to sell your vehicle or want to keep it nice, you get a professional to do this, or buy a vehicle that you don't really care about and go ahead and practice on that, turn that into a play car or whatever. This was not perfect by any means, and the fender liners got absolutely messed up. I don't plan on getting rid of this car, and I know it's a 2020 Civic Si. It's still got only like 35,000 miles on it at the time of recording that video, so it's still worth a decent bit, but I'm not really afraid to make mistakes on these things, and to me this is just part of the learning process. So if you care about your vehicle, go ahead, just get a professional to do this. It's not that much. If you don't care as much or you're willing to make mistakes, go ahead and enjoy the learning process, because you're going to learn a lot.
Oh yeah, holes. Hole there. Hole there.
Do the fitment check of which one's yours and which one's mine.
Okay. So we've got uno,
It rocks the whole car.
kind of that, and then we got dos. So, the camera made it look better than it was, but Somebody did that side, and somebody did this side.
Look, I'm new to this, okay? I didn't grow up doing this, and when I told my dad that I wanted to get into cars before I was, like, out on my own, he told me, well, first he laughed, and then he said, I've never even seen a wrench in your hand. But to be fair, he never gave me a wrench. He made me hold the flashlight and then yelled at me. You know, not everybody's pastime.
I think you just admitted to which side you did.
Yeah.
Driver's side.
Yeah.